It's the strongest response we may have heard from Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, now going on the offensive, responding to House Republicans' threats to impeach him over his handling of the immigration crisis.
They will not force me out.
Do you think you've done anything wrong?
No, I don't. I think it is a disagreement over policy, and I think it is used for political purposes.
Okay, Vince Coglianese, host of the Vince Coglianese radio show, Democratic strategist Nicole Brener-Schmitz, joining me right now. You know, Vince, I'm going to start with you. Mayorkas saying that Republicans are playing politics with a, quote, migration challenge that is not unique to the United States. That is about the most non-answer you can get because it doesn't offer any solution. We know that this has been happening for years, but he has consistently said that the U.S. border is secure, but he refuses to define what that means.
He's playing a lot of games. And so this idea that what we're experiencing now is the same that we've always been experiencing, that's a lie. It's just not true because this is as bad as it's ever been. Under the Biden administration, over 6 million people have either illegally crossed and then turned themselves into Border Patrol with the hope of making usually a false asylum claim and then being released into the United States, or they're gotaways, meaning they've been detected by the Border Patrol but not stopped. And made it further into the country. Over 6 million people, and those are just the ones that we're aware of, and enough drugs, by the way, to kill every single American citizen in the form of that very deadly fentanyl that's enriching the cartels. This is a man, even in his answer there to, quote, defend himself, he seemed weak. He seemed weak defending himself. He's clearly weak when it comes to our southern border. It shouldn't be on the Republicans to even force him out of office. At this point, he should resign, just as a simple, objective matter of failed leadership. Our border is wide open, and any quibbling over a definition of secure is so far away from what's actually happening. It's unbelievable.
Nicole, more and more Democratic leaders in cities like New York, Mayor Adams, Washington, D.C., even San Francisco, now crying out for federal aid, saying we need to do something. We don't have enough resources to help all of the people who are coming into this country. Isn't Mayorkas contradicting himself and Democrats?
I mean, look, I think both parties have fully acknowledged that there is a crisis there. The Biden administration has discussed in his State of the Union that there were issues at the border. I don't think either party has offered a solid solution to them. We continue to have Band-Aids that get put over situations. We just saw the Supreme Court delay again hearing oral arguments about the Title 42 at the border. I mean, no one has offered a real comprehensive immigration solution on either side of the aisle. But this isn't an impeachable offense. It's also a very odd and unique thing to decide to try to impeach a member of the cabinet. I think the Biden administration needs to take a hard look at what the Homeland Department has been doing and what we need to continue to do on the southern border, especially because we're seeing cities not on the border crying out for this help. But this is Republicans making a bit of politics out of it by creating impeachment hearings. The secretary was respectful. He said he took everything that they said seriously. They are the leadership of the U.S. Congress. He has no intentions to not appear or dodge any kind of hearing or investigation and to cooperate fully. But certainly the Biden administration really needs to sit down and take a hard look at what is the process going forward in the next 2 years. Americans are concerned about what's happening. And it's both on the crossings and also the humanitarian crisis that's happening now across the country due to it.
You're absolutely right. And I've talked to high-ranking border agents. They say exactly what you say, Nicole, that neither Republicans or Democrats have come up with a solution. So it just seems like a lot of posturing here. I mean, the fact is that the chances of Mayorkas events being impeached are slim to none, with the Senate not going to go through with following what the House wants to do. But Mayorkas is pointing the finger, as the president has, at Congress, saying it's up to them to fix the problem. So who's really dropping the ball here?
It's just such goofiness. First of all, the administration has plenty of powers already to secure the border that it's just not using. It is not using its diplomatic powers, for instance, with Mexico, in order to reestablish remain in Mexico, which they should do, to basically say you can litigate asylum claims while staying on that side of the border, asking and forcing Mexico to enforce its own southern border, yet again, as was done during the Trump era, would be a huge benefit to the United States to stop all of this illegal migration into the country. We have border fencing that the Trump administration paid for that is sitting on the border. It's not actually put up. It is sitting and rotting on the border, and we are still paying contractors to go out and stare at it and not do anything with it. And that's all at the discretion of the Biden administration. So without Congress, we have doing anything new. We have laws on our books right now that say our border is supposed to be secure. You had Mayorkas this very weekend say, well, the statutory definition is that we're not supposed to let anybody across. But basically, who can meet that? That's that's an impossible standard to meet. No. That is the standard that U.S. citizens expect, and you should be pursuing that to the best of your ability. He's not.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.